Looking good. I like your chair.
This is what I do meditation in. So how does the lighting look to you?
It looks good. I can hear you really well. I can hear you really well too.
Okay, good. So I appreciate you being here.
I've been looking forward to it.
Oh, good. You know, I reminded the students, but you know, it doesn't get dark till late, right? So you don't even realize that it's 5:30. Uh-oh.
Oh,
there you go.
there we go. I know it goes by fast. I can't believe it stays light so late.
I know. I have to put my chickens away when it gets dark, and now it's like 8:30. I'm running out there.
They're like your babies.
I bought new babies because I think I told you. So we had what did we have? We had seven chickens. Turned out 3 of them were roosters. Yeah, that's a lot of roosters for.
When I first talked to you, we just thought one was a rooster.
So now we, yeah. And so I went and bought some baby chicks so I have a little more balance. So what time is it?
There's trouble in the hen house.
There is definitely trouble in the hen house.
Hi, Denise.
Hello. Two of the roosters are bantams, and bantams are tiny. But
Oh, they're so cute.
Yes.
Oh, they are so cute. How's the little rascals doing? The 3 rascals there.
The alpacas are doing good. Again, it's always the boys, right? Now we have a little boy, and he's getting a little frisky. So I think we're going to have to build a separate pen for him.
You've got lots of boy-girl issues
And then we'll
there.
have to get him a buddy. How we do. We definitely do. But the mama that I bought, it was her baby, which was a boy.
Yes.
And they didn't separate them. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can't separate them. That's going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, so we have enough property. We'll probably build another little pen, and then we'll have to get another boy, right? So he's not by himself.
Exactly.
And then pretty soon we'll be like the family we bought them from. They have 34 of them.
Then you'll have like a little Corrales petting zoo.
Oh, yes. Rose, are you drinking tea?
Yes, I can't come in here and sit in my corner without my tea. It's kind of like Pavlov's dog, you know. You know.
Funny.
Yeah, I brought a bigger mug.
Because this is longer than the meditation.
Yeah, this is longer. Yeah.
So I know Sally will be on, and Sally will probably do a formal introduction of me. But for those of you, you know, I'm going to share, I think I'm going to share a lot of information. You might have some questions, but everyone will be muted. So you'll have to write notes so that you don't forget to come back and ask me those questions that you might have.
Wow, look how popular you are.
I didn't, let me see. Let me open it up and see. Oh, yay. You know, I was just a little here by myself. I knew Paige would be here for me. And Jana.
Wow, look how popular you are.
Sparky, I'm glad you made it back. I hope your trip to Santa Fe was good.
I was going like 100 miles an hour coming back. I was like, woo, gotta go. I'm a wild girl. No golf this week.
And you know, because you live out here, you don't speed through Corrales.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You live in Corrales, right? You don't speed in Corrales.
Oh, no, I live in Fontana Ranch.
Oh, for some reason I thought you lived in Corrales.
I
They're
try.
so strict here with the speed limit.
Oh, yeah, I know. Every time I go down there, I mean, I know where to go, where I know. I haven't gotten a ticket probably in 40 years, so I'm good.
That's good. Let's not change that.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so we're going to talk about tonight.
Can you all hear me? I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Who is
True. I can hear someone talking.
Let me turn it up. Can you
Is
hear
it
me?
Sally?
It's Sally. Yeah.
Sally, yes, I can hear you, Sally.
Okay, good. Because I've been off for a little while, but I didn't think my audio was working. So, yes, I'm
Clear. From Vessel House.
I don't know. I was looking at the roster too, and I think there's 13 or 14 people.
Oh, wow. Cool.
15, but that's probably counting you or me.
Yeah. Well, so nice for everybody to join us. Let me look at. I guess we're right on the money. It's 5:30 now. So, and I see Paige is on, and I see it's being recorded. Thank you, Paige.
Denise is recording it for us this time.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, this will work out just beautifully then, because if you're hosting and presenting, you know when to make the edits. So, anyway, I'm happy to say we're doing our April, May, June. This is our third virtual Chart Your Course event. And Denise, one of our lifestyle instructors and coordinators at our office, is here to present. And she's done some terrific things in our facility, as you all know, whether from the meditation, Aikido, lots of wonderful other activities she's filled in for yoga. Goodness, she's just kind of taught us all in many unique forms of health and related health and mental health issues, how to kind of change some of the things in our lives and our patterns, and we really appreciate that. So those of you who know her, I know I'm kind of introducing someone you know, but those of you who are new to joining us at Vessel Health, I'm Sally Hoffman, and I am the business development and coordinator marketing person. And then we have Paige, who is our lifestyle coordinator, who's on the call or on the video as well. And then we have Denise. So I want to just say that Denise is going to, I'm really excited. I'm really excited because Denise has written a book that is geared towards health and happiness, to put it simply. And that's her passion, and she's done a lot of study on it. And I'm going to hand it over to you because we're all excited to hear what you have to say and bettering our lives.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sally. Thank you, Paige, for being here, and thank you everybody else for joining us. I am going to mute you because I know sometimes in the background we might hear dogs or phones ringing, but I do want to answer your questions, and I want you to ask questions. So as I go through, please write down any questions that might come up so that I do have a chance to answer them when we unmute at the end. So let me go ahead. I'm going to mute everybody. It sounds so weird, right? I feel so rude, like I'm muting you. So you know, you hear Sally talk about me and everything that I'm teaching, and it would appear that I'm like this picture of health, but it hasn't always been that way. You know, I was just like everyone else, always searching, trying to find their health and their happiness. And I was that person that if I read an article, it would be something like the newest vitamin, this is going to cure everything. I would run out and buy it. I mean, if you opened up my cabinets, I would be embarrassed. You know, turmeric, I got it. CoQ10, I've got it. Vitamin E, I've got it. Extra vitamin C. If I had heard that something was going to cure, make me feel better, make me look better, I would run out and I would buy it. And I thought this was okay because it was natural, it was holistic, but it wasn't the answer. And I kept searching, right? And so then I would look at my diet. I did the macronutrient diet. I did the raw diet. I did a vegan diet. I did vegetarian diet. I was always searching, trying to find that answer. I then went into essential oils. I took 5 courses, not 5 classes, 5 courses in essential oils, thinking this was going to be the answer. And I looked at my exercise routine. I learned how to do meditation. I would do detox programs, energy healing. I was that dog chasing its tail, right? I could always see it in front of me, but it was just out of reach as I'm chasing around trying to find the answer. And what I discovered was none of them were the answer. And yet at the same time, all of them were the answer. And so I'll explain this, but first I want to share a little story. You might have heard the actress Kerry Washington. She's a beautiful young lady. She was in Scandal. She was being interviewed and she shared this story, and I thought that it was appropriate for what I'm going to be talking about. So Kerry Washington, she grew up in the Bronx, low income, and she, you know, her family was struggling. She had the opportunity to go to a private all-girls high school. And one day she was visiting a girlfriend's home, and they're riding up in the elevator, and the elevator doors open, and it opens to an apartment. And Carrie's like, what the? She had never, ever known that there were elevators that went to apartments. Her experience was an elevator door opened, there would be a long hallway, and there would be 5, 10, maybe even 20 apartments on that floor. She didn't know what she didn't know. And we live life like that. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And so it's just a cute little story, but it kind of is going to reflect part of my story. And so, you know, on my quest to find health, I also trained as a clinical herbalist. And I'm taking my class, and I love my instructor. And I find that my instructor, and this is at UNM here, my instructor taught at the Ayurvedic Institute, and she also teaches Ayurveda. This was my elevator door opening. I had never even heard of Ayurveda. Not did I not know that much about it. I hadn't even known that it existed. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so now I had this new training, this new belief, this new idea of how to heal that I didn't know existed. And so I was raised in Western medicine, like most of us. If I had a headache, you know, I was told to take aspirin. If I had an upset stomach, Pepto-Bismol. I don't know, do they make Pepto-Bismol still? That might be dating me. If I have indigestion, I would take an antacid, right? But in Ayurveda, we treat the whole body, we treat the system. And so we would look at that root cause. Now, if I have a headache because I'm dehydrated, aspirin's not going to help. It may dull the pain, but aspirin's not going to hydrate my body. If I have indigestion because it's Thursday at 3 o'clock and my boss just walked into my office and said, hey, this new project is due on Friday. And I'm like, you know, I have dinner plans tonight and I've got all this stress going on. Antacid isn't going to help take that stress away. It may dull the symptoms, right? But it's not going to take what's causing it away. And that's where I think Western medicine fails and Ayurveda steps in and helps us. And so when we look at Ayurveda, it's looking at the whole system and not just like we call it like the fruit on the tree. You know, it's not just the system, I mean, the problems that we see occurring. And so it is about this time that I met Dr. White. I used to live across the street from Vessel Health, and I would walk my dog every day. And I would see this gentleman, and I kind of heard a little bit about him. And I found out that his motto for his business was treat the system, not the symptom. And I'm thinking, wow, well, this is a good match for me, right? Because that's Dr. White's motto, is to look at the whole system. And that's why he brings in this lifestyle team. So I'm going to share a little bit more about Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we are born with what we call ojas, a certain amount of ojas. And ojas is our life force. It's how we stay healthy. It's our immunity. And when we're born, we have this like bucket full of it. And you can think of it like a bank account. So when you're born, you have this bank account of money. And when we're young, we're out spending that money, aren't we? We go and we stay up late, we eat fast food, you know, we're spending money, really not taking care of our body. And so if you think of ojas like our life force and we want to take care of it, we want to not always expend out, we want to take in. And so when you think of it like a bank account, you're spending money, staying up late, eating junk food, you're spending all that money, but you're not making deposits to build that life force back up. And what happens over the years as you get older, that bank account begins to run dry. And when that bank account runs dry, that's when illness comes in. That's when we start feeling sick, because we no longer have that strong life force. We don't have that bank account of ojas to get us through the illnesses, the viruses. And so when we've expended that bank account, that's when disease comes in, when we can worry about cancer. And so what we want to do is we want to start feeding our body, filling that bank account, start making deposits into our life force, our ojas, so that we can feel health and happiness again. And so what I, you know, on my path of trying to find my health and happiness, what I discovered was the biggest withdrawal from our bank account, from our life force, our ojas, is stress. And I know you're saying, you know, there's always going to be stress, and there is always going to be stress. And often we think of stress as that scenario I gave. You know, your boss coming in Thursday afternoon telling you that you have a project that's due the next day. That could be stressful. Your teenage son comes in and asks you to borrow the car keys. Well, that's a little stressful too, right? Or, you know, just spending all day at work and then having to come home and make dinner and be with the family. That can be stressful. But stress comes at us in different areas of our life, including our environment. And so what you eat, if you're not eating healthy foods, if you're eating unhealthy foods such as fast food, that causes stress on the body. The body was not meant to have to process junk food, processed food, and so it's very stressful for it to handle it. Now, when you're young and your bank account is full, you can eat this food and you don't notice it. But as you get older and your bank account doesn't have as much money and it doesn't have as much ojas, then eating junk food, eating fast food is very stressful on the body. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about our diet. If you're eating food that is not organic, and I know, you know, we try to buy as much organic as we can because it costs more, but foods that have pesticides on it are very hard for your body to process. Those pesticides come into our body and our body doesn't know what to do with it. And if we don't have that strong ojas, if we don't have that large bank account, it doesn't know, it can't process it, it can't detox and eliminate it. And so it sticks it in different places, like maybe in your lymph nodes or in your liver, maybe even up inside the brain. The same with GMO products. So when we change the structure of a food item, it also affects how our body processes it. And so that adds stress to our body. The products, the personal products that you put on your body can add stress also. So most people use between 9 to 12 products every day. So that's toothpaste, deodorant, lotion, aftershave, perfume, cologne. If you went through your daily ritual, you would probably find that you used quite a few products. A lot of these products have chemicals in them. And they have phthalates, they have what they call fragrances, but they're synthetic. And these chemicals are very hard for our bodies to process. And so that adds stress to our body. And so now you see, you have stress from your life. You have stress from the foods that you might be eating. You could have stress from the products that you're putting on your body. Now, we also have to worry about what's in our environment. So we don't want to use bug sprays, herbicides, pesticides, but they do out there in the parks or on the easements. And so a lot of this is in our environment. Typically, our body can detox this, but as our OGIS gets thin, our bank account is smaller, it's a lot harder for our body to detox these toxins that are in the environment. If you're adding additional toxins to your environment, some of us like to plug in those air fresheners because they smell good, right? And now they last like up to 2-3 months. Those are made out of synthetic chemicals, and those chemicals can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, and they've been connected to cancer. And we don't want to be breathing these in all the time. Cleaning agents that we use, things that we wipe the counters with, that we wash our clothes in, that we dry our clothes in. Now they have that new, that thing that you shake in your dryer and your clothes smell fresh for what? It's like a month or so. Those fragrances are synthetic, and they use phthalates to make them last that long, plasticizers, and they're really dangerous for your body. And so that adds additional stress to your body. And now we have EMFs. And so we're looking at the waves, the frequency waves that are being emitted by your cell phone, my iPad that I'm listening to, my laptop, the Wi-Fi, it's everywhere. And we're not going to get away from it, but we just have to be aware that our bodies were never meant to receive all of these waves. And when we're young, we're a lot better at handling them. But as we get older, with all the other stress that we're taking into our body, this too can be harmful for us. And then we also have some negative messages that might be given to us from the media, right? So you go through a magazine and you look at the pictures and it tells you, you should look like this, right? Here's this actress and she's 80 years old and she has no wrinkles, and you should look like that too, right? Or you should have that perfect body, or you should. And then we start feeling like we're not enough. And that adds stress to our life. So you can get the picture. I mean, I could go on and on, but all of these things, these events, these activities, these products that are in our life can cause stress to our bodies. And we don't always realize that we're taking in this stress. And our bodies are amazing. We really can handle a lot if we're taking care of our bodies. Now, if we're just paying out of our bank account and we're never making any deposits, then we might become sick, we might become ill. And so we want to start making some deposits so that that doesn't happen to us, right? And so it's not all bad. So I'm going to share some good news. So we're going to talk about what we can do and what I've found. And so, in the beginning, I talked about, all the supplements that I would take, the meditation, the exercising, looking at different diets. And I said none of them worked, but yet all of them worked. And that's where it comes in. It all works. We can't just do one thing. I can't take a supplement and think I'm going to get better if I still have stress in other parts of my life. So I have to look at all of it. I have to bring it all in. I have to look at my diet. I have to look at my sleep patterns. I have to look at the messages that I'm receiving the people in my life, the products in my life. And so then I can get that holistic view of finding health. And so Sally was nice enough to mention, I did write a cool little book, and the book talks about, you know, my path, and it has recipes in it, and it's got some practices in it. But I want to share some of that with you. And so I have notes. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been going through my notes. So I'm going to go through some things that you can do. And these are easy things that you can do to help bring health and happiness back into your life. And, you know, one of the things that we need to do every day is get a good night's sleep, right? We need to rest. Our body heals when we sleep. And so if you're sacrificing sleep to watch that favorite program, you know, to finally do that housework because the kids finally went to bed, or because you want to hang out with friends, your body's not going to have that chance to heal. And so you're not going to be able to make those deposits back into your OJIS life account. And so you want to sleep so that your body heals. And you need to make it a priority. And I think that in our Western society, we pride ourselves in doing everything. And, oh, you know, I had 20 jobs and I did this and I did this. And really, you know, we're here to live our life, and we can't live our life if we're sick. And so you want to take care of your body, and you do that by sleeping every night. And in Ayurveda, they talk about routine, and finding that routine to fall asleep at the same time and wake up at the same time is the best thing for your body. Then it gets used to when it falls to sleep and when it wakes up. And when your body is sleeping, it will begin to detox. So, but there are some steps to take to allow this to happen. So one step is, don't eat a really heavy meal at the end of the day. We're now hearing that when we look at fighting disease, a lot of disease is starting in the gut. And Ayurveda knew this 5,000 years ago, that in order to heal, we had to heal the gut. And we heal in Ayurveda by using food as medicine. And we don't just say it's what you eat, but it's what you digest. And when we're digesting, we call that Agni. And Agni is this fire that we have in our gut that digests our food. And the strongest time, the time when your Agni is the hottest and it's able to digest its best, is in the middle of the day. So when you wake up in the morning, your Agni's the fire's just getting started. And so you shouldn't have too big of a breakfast. In fact, they say as soon as you wake up, you should have a big glass of warm water. This is actually going to start letting go of everything that your body was detoxing during the evening and during the night. And then at lunch, that's when your fire is its brightest, and that's when you eat your largest meal. And then when dinner time comes, we don't eat as much. That way your food has been digested by the time you go to bed. And your body isn't working on digesting your food. Your body is working on you healing. So if you eat a big meal and you go to bed all night, your body's working on digesting that big meal, and it never gets back to healing. And so if you want your body to heal, you have to give it that opportunity. And so eat a lighter dinner and give your body at least you go to bed. In fact, in Ayurveda, we don't want to stack our meals. And so when you wake up in the morning, you have a big glass of warm water that starts that digestion process. You have a light breakfast, and then you don't eat again until that breakfast has digested. Now, if you're snacking throughout the day, that food, that meal that you ate is still digesting. And then you put more food on top of it. And then you put more food on top of it. And then what happens is that it starts to get putrefied inside here. And this is when you have indigestion, or your food isn't being digested. So now you're not getting all the nutrients from the food. And so you might be eating a wonderful meal, but your body isn't able to process it because there's too much inside there. And so they talk about separating those meals. And so that's a little bit about food. Oh, and always eat real food. You know, as much as you can, eat real food that came from the earth, food that you recognize, and that will help keep you healthy. So I mentioned a little bit about the radio frequencies, the electromagnetic frequencies that are coming from our devices. And it's everywhere. It's going to be hard to get away from that. But if this is affecting your body and you're trying to sleep and you're trying to detox and heal, that could be preventing your body from healing. And so what I do is I have a timer on my Wi-Fi. And at a certain time at night, my Wi-Fi automatically turns off and I don't have to think about it. And then it turns back on in the morning. And so that way I'm not sleeping with Wi-Fi going on during the time that my body is healing. I also don't have any devices in my bedroom. If you use your phone or one of your devices, you should put them on airplane mode so that you're not getting as much of that electromagnetic frequency going in while you're sleeping. The one way that you can heal from any concerns from this is to go out and be in nature. And so there's a guy that does earthing. He wrote the book called Earthing. And he talks about how grounding our body will help our body heal. And so if you walk outside barefoot, and not on the concrete, you have to walk like in the grass or on the dirt. You have to actually touch the earth. The earth has a cadence or a rhythm or a frequency, and that frequency matches ours. And so when we connect with the earth, it actually brings that frequency back in line and it helps us heal. There's a story of an Indian tribe, and when the kids would come home, the mom would always make sure they took their shoes off. They said, take those shoes off, we don't want to get sick. And I don't know if she knew this or maybe it was just a pattern that she saw, but I think some of the beliefs that we used to have, that we used to know, was that the earth healed us. Now, I use an earthing pad. And I told you, because you know me, I'm just going to go out and buy everything, right? This is how I am. I read this article and I think, oh, I need this. This is going to help me find my health. But there's pads, and you could put them like under your computer. So when you're working on your computer, you plug it into the ground of your house. And so then it grounds it. And so you can ground yourself while you're working on the computer. Now I have a grounding pad that I put on my bed. And so that when I sleep, I get that extra grounding as I'm sleeping. But you already know I'm just a little extreme. So, but okay. So let's go on. What else are we going to do? Oh, so I brought a couple little things to show you. This is an investment that's worth it. So this is called a tongue scraper. So I talked a little bit about when you sleep, your body detoxes. And when you wake up in the morning, if you stick your tongue out, you might see that you have a little bit of a film on that tongue. And so in Ayurveda, we take a tongue scraper and we scrape it off in the morning. And you scrape it, you rinse it, you scrape it. And that pulls the toxins that we're trying to work out of your mouth, and it eliminates them. Because we don't want to re-ingest them back into our body. Also, when you scrape your tongue, you start to activate the digestions because you start stimulating certain points on the tongue that helps to get your digestion started. And so it's a great way to start the morning. Now, some of you may say, but I brush my tongue. And there's research that shows that this tool right here eliminates 85% more than brushing. In fact, when you brush your tongue, you might actually be pushing those toxins back down inside of the tongue because your tongue is very porous. And so whenever you brush it, you might actually be pushing those back down inside. And so this, I mean, they're like $7, not very expensive. And this is stainless steel. I've had this for probably 5 years. So they last a long time, and it's not gonna wear soon. So, and then I brought this. Some of you might recognize this. This is a dryer ball. And so I'm also a big discount shopper. And so I love going to Marshall's. I go to Tuesday Morning or Home Goods, and you can find these. There's usually a set of 4, and you put these in your dryer, and they help eliminate wrinkles, and they help the clothes dry sooner, so it helps with efficiency. And so what you can do instead of using those dryer sheets is take some of your essential oils. Remember, I had 5 classes on this, right? 5 courses. So you could take an essential oil and just drop it on to your dryer ball, and it will freshen your clothes. Then when you pull your clothes out, they smell fresh. And essential oils are antibacterial, they're antifungal, they smell good, and they're not dangerous for you like the dryer sheets. The dryer sheets are really hazardous for your health. And so just putting some essential oils on your dryer ball is really simple. And you buy these once, and they last a long time. And so you don't have to keep buying those dryer sheets. So a couple other tips through Ayurveda. I talked a bit about our digestive fire. We want to digest our foods. So even if you eat something unhealthy, your body will digest it, use what it wants or what it needs, and eliminate the rest. And one way that we ensure that this continues to happen is throughout the day, we sip on warm water. And so I always have like a thermos with me. And just throughout the day, I'll just take a couple sips. It makes me thirsty right now talking about it. But that warm water will help keep your digestion moving, and it'll help you continue. Some people have said they've lost weight by doing this, but it helps you assimilate your nutrients and just keeps everything in your system moving. And it's really simple. You just sip on warm water. In Ayurveda, we do not drink cold drinks. And I know it's hard in the summertime. You're outside, maybe you have, a burger or something, you want a cold soda. If you had a fire going and you dumped a cup of cold water or a cold soda or a cold drink on it, you would put that fire out. But the same thing happens in your stomach. If you take, you're eating your dinner, you take a sip of cold, whatever you're drinking, it could be something healthy, it could be, an herbal tea or water, it's still going to dampen that fire and prevent your body from digesting it. And so you want to have room temperature or warm water or warm drinks, nothing cold. So that's a little different, right? And so some other techniques that help bring health is moving your body. Yoga is an excellent way to move your body, but move in any way that you enjoy. If it's walking, if it's running, it's the functional fitness class, if it's the sit strong class, any way that you're moving your body is going to help bring health and energy in. We have what we call the lymph system. And so this is kind of like the system in your body that removes all the trash. So it's like the sewer system. And unlike the vessels that are connected to your heart, and the heart's pumping and pumping and moving that blood, there's nothing to move this lymph except for you. And when you move your body. And so if you're not moving your body, you're not moving that lymph through your system, and you're not helping it eliminate these toxins. And so again, this is building up, and it's going to keep you from finding your health and happiness. So you want to keep moving, it'll make you feel better. And then you can tie these together, right? You can take a walk in nature. You can take your shoes off with a thermos of warm water, and then you have 3-4 things that Ayurveda to help you bring health and happiness. So if I were to list 10 top things to do to find your health and happiness, number 1 would be sleep. Sleep is when you heal and you want a regular schedule. Number 2, as soon as you wake up in the morning, drink a large glass of warm water. That's going to get your system moving, and that's going to help eliminate a lot of those toxins that were built up and your body was trying to get rid of in nighttime. Scrape your tongue. Eat real food. Base those meals, so food. Give it time to digest before you eat again. And then sip warm water throughout the day. Move your body. And then one thing I didn't talk about was being thankful. Being thankful for what we have will help bring some happiness. If we're always like looking to what Mr. Jones has, Mr. Smith, who has that bigger house, that better car, we're never going to find that happiness. But when you stop and look at what you do have and be thankful for what you do have, you'll see more areas in your life that do make you happy. And so just stop and look around. I like doing a gratitude journal. reminding myself some of the special things that I'm grateful for, that the sun comes up, that I have a bed, that I have food to eat, that I have this opportunity to teach this class. I mean, there's so many things in life that I can be thankful for. And when I attend to those, because where I put my attention, where I put my energy is what I'm going to focus on. If I focus on things that make me happy, then I'm going to have more happiness in my life. So, and then let go of regret. Let go of the things that are holding you down, things that you did, you didn't do, you should have done. You can't make any changes with those, and look to the future, your new happiness future. So, and then my last one, well, I have two things. My second to last is to breathe. And we're going to do a breathing exercise before we go. And then my very last one is to have love in your life. So, all right. So I wanted to do a breathwork practice with you before I unmute you and you guys ask any questions that you might have. And this is not a Vedic practice. This is a practice that I learned through Wim Hof. There was a training session that I did with Wim Hof, and he's the Iceman. You might have heard of him. He's this gentleman that through his breath, he was able to regulate his body temperature. And through this regulation, he was able to set world records swimming under ice in the ice water for a certain amount of time. He climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know if he was barefoot, but he didn't have, I think he had shorts on and like a t-shirt on. And he was able to do that by controlling his breath. And then he went even further to control what his body was processing. And he let someone inject him with a virus. And I think it was Ebola. And he was able to prevent that virus from spreading through his body just by using his breath. And then when they went back, so now the SEAL team had hired him to help teach them, because they couldn't believe what he was able to accomplish just by using this breath technique. And what they found when they did the research was that when you practice this breath work, it moves your body from sympathetic to parasympathetic. And parasympathetic is when your body is able to heal. And it also moved your body from being acidic. So our bodies become acidic when we eat junk food, when we're stressed. And by using this breath work, he was able to move his body into an alkaline state. And what we found is that when you're in a state of alkalinity, disease cannot exist in your body. And so this is a really good practice, right? This is a practice that's going to help bring health to you. So we're going to be breathing in forcefully, exhaling forcefully. So if you don't want to practice it now, maybe you're not in a position where you can practice it. You don't want to do this while you're driving, because it could make you lightheaded. You also want to be seated. So you could just listen to the practice and practice it later. But I do know that sometimes we don't always go back to practice. So it's kind of fun to do it right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through our nose, and we're going to imagine that the breath is starting way down at the base of our abdomen. And as we inhale through our nose, it's going to move all the way up as high as we can, filling this whole cavity. And then we're going to exhale forcefully and just let it out through the mouth. So we're going to breathe in, filling as much as we can, and then exhaling it out. And we're going to do it for a count of 20. And as you do this, you might feel a little lightheaded. You might feel some tingling. And this is our body moving to parasympathetic state, or moving from acidic to alkaline. And so we're going to go ahead and do this. And hopefully I can count to 20 as I do this breath. So you could just go ahead and follow me. So go ahead and get comfortable. And we're going to go ahead and breathe in and exhale. All right. Woo! And go ahead and bring yourself back to normal breath. You might feel a little lightheadedness there. Nice. You want to do this 3 times in a row. I do it lying down because it just makes me feel more comfortable. And then I can just kind of resonate with how I feel. But if you practice this every day, you're going to see some pretty amazing results in bringing your health back. And it's simple, right? It doesn't cost anything. And you could do it almost anywhere as long as you find a safe place to sit. So all right. So let me, actually, I don't think I can unmute now. Paige, I don't know if you know, when I try to unmute, I'm not able to unmute. So I think everyone has to maybe unmute themselves.
I'm unmuted.
Okay, great. I would love if you have any questions, any comments, any clarifications. I just stunned you guys with so much stuff.
What did you say the Arabic thing was for life force? What's the name for life force?
Oh, OJAS. 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 That's our life force, OJAS.
Okay.
So there's prana. Prana is life force, but prana is breath. OJAS is our immunity.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question. On the eating at the end of the day, what time do you recommend the last meal?
So in Ayurveda, we do what we call a constitution or a dosha quiz, and we look at your constitution. And depending on your constitution, it may adjust it some, but the best time to eat is before 6 o'clock. So your pitta, your hot time, actually is in the middle of the day, and then we start moving into kapha time when our body starts slowing down, and that starts at 6. So if you eat too late after 6, like if you're moving into 7:30, 8 o'clock, you're not going to really be able to digest that food. So anywhere between maybe 5, 6:30 is the best time in you know, in an ideal world.
Good, thank you.
I'm scraping the tongue. Would you do that after you brush your teeth? That would be after you brush your teeth or before?
Before you brush your teeth. So the first thing I do in the morning is I pull out my tongue scraper. Very first thing I do is I scrape my tongue. Now, I do lots of other practices that I didn't share. I oil pull, so then I put oil in my mouth and I swish it around, or I hold it in my mouth. I also neti, and so I have my neti pot with my warm salt water that I run through my nose, and so it gets a little extreme. But yeah, you want to scrape your tongue first before you brush your teeth.
Okay.
Where you have warm water? You do the warm water?
Yes, so you want to scrape your tongue, brush your teeth, and then you're going to drink a glass of warm water. And if you don't care for water, you can add lemon to it. Lemon's a great way to start the digestion too. And lemon water will help brighten the flavor of the water, but also help with that digestion.
Yeah, I want to ask you, I've been doing apple cider vinegar in the morning, just like a little teaspoon in water before I have anything at all.
Yeah, so you know, they don't do that in Ayurveda, but I'm an herbalist, right? I actually make fire cider, and so I believe that. So apple cider vinegar, a raw apple cider vinegar has that mother in it, and that mother is a probiotic, and so yeah, that's an excellent way to boost your immunity and your digestion.
Okay, great, thank you.
Nice. But one thing you do have to watch, Sparky, is when you drink apple cider vinegar. Vinegar is very acidic, and you want to watch that it's not wearing at the enamel on your teeth. And so you may want to maybe switch some water afterwards just to rinse the mouth out.
Okay, great. Yeah, because my dentist said it looked like I was sucking on lemons.
There you go. Yes.
I have a question about the neti pot.
Oh yeah.
What kind of, do you use purified water or boiled water or anything, or just right from your tap? Or
you know what, I've been taught different things, and I have well water, and I don't want any microbes. So I use distilled water. So I actually buy distilled water, and I warm it on the stove, and I add my quarter teaspoon of salt, but I use distilled water. If you have a good filtration system, it probably would be fine to have filtered water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, Rose.
I didn't want to talk over anybody.
But I saw your hand raise up.
On the earthing pad, you said,
Yes.
what do you plug it into? Like if it's on, or when you like, and then you said you do it while you're sleeping. What's it plugged into? Like,
so you know, when I first saw this, I thought, I'm not plugging anything in. How can that? I mean, that's adding more of a current. But I did more research, and not in my house. I've got my house is 100 years old. My house is not grounded, but most houses have that plug, and it has 3 holes, right?
Oh, right.
And the bottom hole is the ground, and that's what ground. It actually is a ground that runs through your wiring system, goes outside,
right.
and comes into the earth. I don't have that, so I have to run a wire out my window, and I have a stake that I put into the ground, and that's how I ground mine. So,
Okay.
yeah, I know.
Well, I'm visualizing like a mud pad, you know. I'm thinking, you can't have electrical thing, you know.
No, and it's not electrical. So if you're doing it by your computer, typically you have an outlet, and that's where you have most of the
Oh,
magnetic
I
frequencies
see.
you want to worry about. And so they
Okay.
have pads, and you just rest your hands as you're typing, and so it will help your body just kind of ground from all of that.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
especially children. So children are more at risk for this electromagnetic field. And so you don't want the phones near their head. You know, you don't want them resting things in their lap where their genitals are. I mean, women that put their phone in their bra, it's so dangerous, right? And so you want to watch. And so, yeah, but there's a book, and it's a really thin book, and it's called Earthing. And he talks about how he discovered it, and he talks about how we started to become sick when tennis shoes came to our environment. And so when we started wearing rubber-soled shoes, we started becoming more sick because we lost that connection to the earth, which I thought was interesting. So, yeah.
What's the name of your book, Denise? Perfect something?
Oh, my book is called Feeling Groovy.
Feeling Groovy, okay.
Feeling Groovy.
Is that available at Vessel?
Vessel does have it. Yeah, Vessel has it. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So, yeah, it's a busy woman's guide to finding happiness and health. But men can use it too. But I find that women are more apt to want to bring new things into their life. Men wait for their wives to do it and bring it to them.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so
They do it first. Yeah.
Congratulations on getting it published.
well, thank you. I actually self-published it through a program, and I forgot the name, and I don't see it on here. So, but it was a dream of mine. You know, I've been writing notes, and you know, all this research and all this was inside of me, and I just needed to share it. So I actually have another one that I haven't published yet, but it's for children, because children are more susceptible. And in my career, when I was working, I was an early childhood specialist, and so I have a book that is about keeping our children safe and introducing them to these concepts. So when they get older, like us, we're not having to backtrack to find that house. You know, we can teach them to do it right the first time, and so that they will be healthy and happy. So.
Thank you. You're wonderful.
Any other questions, comments? You can always email me or Paige if you have any questions, or if you want any more information on anything that I shared. I'm more than happy to print anything or create any documents that help clarify anything.
Do they still teach those Ayurveda classes through UNM at UNM?
They do, and my teacher was Sonia Masoko, and she's excellent. But I have to say, you know, I ended up here in New Mexico, where we have one of the biggest Ayurvedic institutes in the state, with world-renowned Dr. Love. I mean, I've never heard of it, and here I am in this state, and you have such a rich resource in going to the Ayurvedic Institute. And once a month, they have an intensive. It's a weekend intensive where they have a specialty class Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Fridays are free. And so it's just in the evening from 7 to 9, and you get to go sit in the class for free. You get to hear Dr. Lad, and he chants in Sanskrit. He talks in English and Sanskrit, and he's going back and forth. But pretty soon it starts to make sense, and it starts to resonate with you. Now, my instructor and my mentor was Sonia, and she actually was one of the trainers at the Institute, and now she teaches at the college. So a lot of resources out here.
Was she continuing ed, or was she in a general?
Yes. It's continuing ed. Yes. Yeah. And so she does the clinical herbalism classes, and she does the Ayurvedic classes.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys can be OSHI members for $20 a year, you can attend some of these classes for free.
You know what? I have some great friends that I met, because as you go through these courses, you know, there's several classes that you have to take. And they worked at UNM, and they got to take these classes for free.
Right.
So what membership? Because I had to pay, and it was pricey.
It can be, yeah.
So tell us again, Sparky, how you can.
Well, I'm a former employee at UNM, and I get to take classes at continuing ed for $20 a year. I have a membership, and a lot of the classes are free.
That's nice. That's nice.
Classes or whatever it costs, but it's not nearly like the regular college credits. I mean, you don't get credits.
Yes. Yeah. So I teach at CNM, and so my husband gets to go to those classes for free, but they haven't had anything like Ayurveda or clinical herbalism there. So they have beer brewing. That makes me happy. All right. Any other questions? I see Rose going through her pad of paper there.
I'm looking through my notes. Yeah. I'll probably think of something at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, yeah. All right.
Well, it was great having everybody. And I'm not sure if people knew about Ayurveda. I'm hoping I shared something new, because it's always good to learn something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ayurveda restaurants are very good too.
Oh yes, Namaste and
on 4th Street.
Annapurna.
Annapurna.
Annapurna, that's what I said.
Yes. Yeah. I'm hoping they open soon. I miss my chai tea.
Oh, yeah, you used to go to happy hour, chai tea. Oh, I got tea for you. I went to I did an inspection of this place in Paris called Teography, she calls it. And she gave me some of that matcha stuff.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, so I'll give you some.
Very cool. Thank you. You're so thoughtful.
I know.
I know.
I'll see you in my net. I gotta probably do a little work here before it gets too late.
All right. Okay. But there are no other questions. Any other questions? Yes.
This isn't a question. I just want to say that your presentation was so well done, and you were so well prepared. Notes are a good thing, you know, that just like, but that you went through, and I think it's one of the best chart your courses that I've been to.
You don't carry it.
You're a treasure for us. You're a teacher there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm trying to look at these pictures. Well, thank you so much. You know, I actually, you know, if you were closer, I'm a little sweaty. As much as I love sharing, I still get nervous. And so I have been practicing. I think Sally asked me to do this. It's been like a month, and I've been practicing since.
Well, we couldn't tell. You did a
I
fabulous
appreciate
job.
that comment.
You did a fabulous job, Denise. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you. And is there any, is there any more questions? Or some of you are familiar with Chart Your Course, as she was just complimenting Denise on being one of the best Chart Your Course presenters. We have different presenters every month, so it's an exciting time, even though we're not meeting in person like we used to, and gather in our beautiful space that we have. But we're making the best of the situation, and I think, you know, even if we have to do this for another, you know, who knows, another month or whatever might happen, I think it's definitely valuable. And I'm glad to see you all here, because I think we do learn something each and every time. Somebody always brings something to the table that is unique, and unique to them and unique to all of us. So it's very valuable information. So on that note, I am waiting for our next presenter's confirmation. So it's a little bit of a secret right now, but I will be announcing that as soon as I can. I just can't make that announcement right now, but we will have another in July. But you will get the details well in advance.
Awesome. Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome. Thank you, Denise.
Nice to hear
job.
your voice, Sally.
Thank you, Lydia. It's good to see your pretty face.
Thank you, Denise.
All right, my kitty just showed up. I don't know if she's going to want to come on screen. So
I thought I heard a kitty.
I know. All right. Well, it was great to see everybody. Thank you so much. I know you guys have busy schedules, and I was talking to Paige. You know, 5:30 seems so early because it stays late. So I mean, it stays light so late, and so I appreciate you taking time to join us today. So, all right. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and a great rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you at some of our other classes. Remember, we have exercise classes, yoga classes, meditation every morning, and we'd love to see you join those classes. And we also have recordings. You can always go in afterwards and enjoy these classes, even if you're not able to come at the time that they're being offered. So
That's a great benefit. I hope everybody's taking advantage of that.
I hadn't heard about it.
No?
You go to the
Okay.
site or
Yeah.
something?
Paige, do you want to talk about the virtual classes?
Well, I mean, I take the classes. I hadn't heard about recordings.
Yeah, we can send an email.
Yeah.
We'll send an email about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Sounds good. We'll follow up with email.
Classes.
I've been in all of them every day pretty much, and they're all so great, and I appreciate you all so much. It's like you're like my compass for every day, and just it's just been so great to have these Zoom classes and to have you guys give this opportunity to us every day. I'm so thankful for all of you. It's been great.
well, we're thankful for you guys too. So I did tell Rose that I was going to go through and show, and I'll take screenshots of how to get to the recordings, if that's okay, Paige, and then I'll share that.
would be awesome. Thanks, Denise.
Yeah.
That's great, Denise. Thank you very much.
Hey, Denise, I'm going to say goodbye too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now.
Good night, Dr. White.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you so much for your
You're
presentation.
welcome.
And it was excellent.
It's
Thank
great.
you for having me. And I appreciate all that everyone's doing. I mean, the classes and the information, it's all been great. And it's been wonderful seeing other students as well and being with
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a community.
Yes,
It's a really
it is
beautiful
nice. It's nice to see the faces, isn't it? I like to see everybody. Yeah. So I'm on my iPad, and so I only get to see 3 faces at a time. So I have to scroll through so I can see everybody.
Yeah, I know. It's been great. It's been good.
And hi, Julie. You look beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're radiant.
Okay.
I'm practicing being radiant because I'm getting married on Saturday.
I know.
Congratulations.
I heard that.
of you.
Thank you, thank you.
So Julie, I'm glad you are here, but I did not see, I don't see you. Oh, there you are. I see you now.
Yeah. I've been here from the beginning.
Nice. Thank you for being here.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. It's great.
Awesome.
All right.
And Cleo, I'm so sorry I couldn't pick up your phone, the phone when you called me.
I figured it out. I was looking under your emails, but I mean, it was under pages. Then I found it. I was able to be here.
I'm glad you're here. All right. So, well, I wish all of you, again, a lovely evening, and stay connected, be well, and hopefully we'll see you soon. So, all right.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Denise and Paige.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
right.
evening.
Bye,
Bye,
ladies.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, I'm closing.